Hey, what's up, you guys? So, we're gonna play some Oregon Trail 2. So, I apologize, I can't get it to be in full screen, so we're just gonna play it like this. I think it can't play in full screen because it's an old game, but let's go ahead and get this started. My name is San. I will be an adventure formerly. Let's see. I am an English teacher now, so I'll say I'm an English teacher. Let's see. When would be a good time to leave? So I don't want to go through the winter. I think the winter would be pretty tough. So let's go right. Let's go. April would be pretty rainy. So I think May would be a really good time in like the summer. 1848. Let's go 1860. Set up from Independence. Oh, let's say Independence. Started by Oregon City. Let's go Jacksonville, Oregon. No special skills. Okay, fine. I'll be a butcher because before I was a teacher. I've been a teacher about 5 years in Korea. I was a chef for 10 years, so $725 cash. Let's just say a large wagon. Okay. Let's just say two. Me and two people. I'll have. Let's see. We'll name this one. Who should I name my wife? I'll name my wife Melody. I'll name my wife Melody. And she's gonna be pretty young. She's gonna be 25. I'm 35 years old. Or I'll be 35 in June, so that's fine. And Melody and Sam Jr. And he will be, let's say he's 10 years old. Yeah, Sam Jr. So, me, a butcher. What's this guy do? Oh yeah, all kinds of stuff. Let the would-be immigrant beware of the fact that the overland westward journey is not to be undertaken lightly. Though it is not without its accompanying pleasures, it may well be characterized by hardship and privation. Death, though by no means inevitable, is a distinct possibility, but with proper planning and careful judgment, most if not all difficulties can be overcome by travelers of stout heart and sound constitution. In fact, the party of well-prepared immigrants might indeed derive great pleasure from the journey, both from the awesome beauty and wonder of the natural landscape and from the inherent satisfaction to be derived from succeeding at such a tremendous challenge. Depending on their starting point and destination, as well as sundry considerations, wagon trains generally complete the journey in from 4 to 6 months. Okay. A walking pace is the usual speed of travel. Sometimes the road is very good, other times it is quite bad. Over many parts of the trail, especially after prolonged periods with little or no rain, thus is a constant annoyance. One cannot rely dependently on wild game for provisions, if at all possible. Take sufficient food for the entire journey. Carry nothing but provisions and articles necessary for travel. Any excess weight will be an undue burden. The wagon. The large bulky wagons of the Conestoga variety, which are fairly well suited to relatively short excursions in the east, are generally not best for the long overland journey west. Because of their size and weight, Conestogas are prone to damage on rugged trails and prove highly burdensome to draft animals. The best wagon for the western journey is of the kind typically known as a farm wagon, specially modified with a cover. It should be made of seasoned wood, manufactured in the best manner. Built light rather than heavy, its sides should be at least 2 feet high with front and rear boards as high as the sides. The bow should be low rather than high. The cover ought to be made of tooled cotton cloth, waterproofed and able to be fastened securely against heavy wind and rain. The aridity of the western climate and the periodic ruggedness of the trail are such that wagon wheels that would be perfectly adequate back east often fall apart less than halfway into the westward journey. One should not, therefore, begin one's journey with wheels about which there are any doubts whatsoever, or surely trouble will ensue. Wheels ought to be made of the very finest seasoned wood, made by a superior craftsman, and ironed in the driest weather. Between 1,000 and 1,500 pounds is a good starting load, usually sufficient to carry the necessary supplies, but not so much as to cause too great a burden on the draft animals. Under ordinary circumstances, 4 draft animals would be sufficient to pull such a wagon, but for such a long journey, a larger number is highly recommended. 6 or 8 would be an excellent number, particularly if you are carrying upwards of 2,000 pounds. One would be ill-advised to start out with a much heavier load, relying on still more animals to pull the additional weight. If you absolutely must carry more weight, it would be wiser to take 2 separate wagons rather than one that is too heavily laden. Draft animals. There is much debate over the relative merits of different kinds of draft animals: oxen, mules, or horses. Each has its champions who swear that no better choice can be made. This can be explained by the fact that there are definite advantages and disadvantages to each type of animal. At the start of the journey, oxen are inevitably the cheapest of the 3, generally costing between $10 and $20 per animal. Mules usually go from $50 to $150 a piece, while strong horses of the type best suited to pull wagons fetch up to $300 each. If economy alone is your chief consideration, oxen are clearly your best choice. Oxen boast other advantages as well. They are the strongest and have the most endurance. A wagon load that would require from 8 to 10 mules or horses to pull will probably require only 6 oxen. Oxen are less susceptible to cold than either horses or mules, and do not require special feed along the trail, but rather subsist on the grass and other forage they find along the way. They are also the least likely to stray or be stolen, and they are less likely to stall in mud holes. Finally, oxen are quite docile and easily managed, and under severe circumstances they can be readily eaten. Mules too have their advantages. They tend to be less susceptible to disease than other oxen or horses. They also fare best in extreme heat and require less water to drink than the others. Therefore, they work best in desert or semi-desert conditions. Mules tend to be faster than oxen, but slower than horses, and they are less prone to sore throat than either of the other animals. While they can subsist largely on forage along the trail, they do best with such feed as oats. Lastly, mules are to cause a disturbance when strangers are near and thus serve a function similar to watchdogs, alerting the unwary traveler of potential danger. Unfortunately, mules also tend to be stubborn, sometimes refusing to move when you wish, and can occasionally cause unexpected delays. Horses, by contrast, are generally the fastest yet weakest of the 3 animals. They have the least endurance, but in an emergency they can be used for fast riding. Horses are highly desirable for trading and can catch a considerable sum of money from a quantity of goods in barter, especially when trading with Indians. They do, however, require that you carry feed, for they cannot survive long on trail forage alone. They are the most prone to theft and straying, and are highly susceptible to the cold. Interestingly, though, horses are the most expensive animal at the start of the journey. Their relative value tends to decline the farther west you go, largely because of the availability of wild horses, so that by the time you travel is 2/3 complete, horses may cost and fetch and trade less than mules and perhaps even less than oxen. One practical bit of advice is this: if you're going to the Willamette Valley of Oregon or the Great Salt Lake Valley, oxen are probably your best bet. But if you're going to California or the Rogue River Valley of Southern Oregon, mules may be a better choice because of the desert regions you will inevitably encounter along the way. As for other animals that one might take along the journey, a milk cow is highly desirable, providing a steady source of milk, cheese, and butter as long as she has access to adequate water and forage. and is not worked too hard. In emergency circumstances, she can replace an oxen pulling the wagon, although she will probably stop giving milk soon after, and can of course be killed for food if the need arises. Chickens kept in cages lining the external side of the wagon are brought by some emigrants, thereby supplying eggs, which must be consumed the same day when they are laid, and fresh meat. Still, other immigrants have been known to take pigs or sheep, which can be killed periodically for meat, though they will readily stray and may in fact slow travel considerably. Some travelers choose to take one or more dogs along with them, for a dog will readily lure to dangers such as these, and it may prove useful in hunting, especially if trained as a retriever. There have even been occasional reports of immigrants taking cats, for though a cat has little usefulness on the journey itself, young kittens have been known to fetch extremely high prices out west, so rare that they are yet so much in demand for catching an ubiquitous vermin. According to a story circulating on the plains a few years back, some Indian children were so enamored of a cat that they saw within a wagon party, for they had never seen an ordinary house cat, that their father offered to trade 2 horses in prime condition for the little puma, as they called it. The cat being a blood family pet, however, the offer was politely refused. Drive all of your livestock in front of your wagon. Don't make an animal follow your wagon. Tied to its rear for the internal dust. Okay, don't make an animal follow your wagon tied to its rear. Drive all of your livestock in front of your wagon. Don't make an animal. Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah, duh. Quickly cause it to sicken and die. If one draft animal becomes ill, dies, or is lost, that you no longer have an even number for your yoke harness the extra animal in front of the others and use it as a leader. Yoke should be of the very highest quality, fitted properly to the neck of each animal. Avoid sore necks and split or sore hooves. The animals' necks and backs should be washed daily. Their hooves should be shod. Don't hurry animals, especially oxen, over rough terrain, for hurrying will increase the likelihood of injury. The pace of travel. The usual gait for oxen is about 2 miles per hour, averaging about 15 miles per day, though much less when conditions are adverse. Mules and horses, when the wagon is not too heavy, will generally travel a little faster, perhaps an average of 18 miles a day. If you travel more than the average one day, it may be best to travel less the next day, as to not to exhaust the animals. It is generally best to travel at a relatively slow, steady pace nearly every day, with only occasional day-long rests, instead of frequently alternating days off a fast, hard pace with those of total rest. This is usually harder on the animals. Avoid pushing animals too hard, and if they must be worked hard, do not do so over an extended period of time. Allow them to rest when they need to rest. Perhaps the best advice anyone can receive at the start of the journey is this. Always take good care of the animals, for the success of your journey and perhaps even your life depends on them. If you take care of your animals, they will take care of you. Each day on the trail, it is usual for wagon parties to begin their journey at or just before sunrise, making preparations for the day's journey. Travel generally begins immediately after breakfast and continues for several hours, until around noon. Stop at the time for 1 or 2 hours to rest the animals and eat a midday meal. Resume travel in the early afternoon and continue until around 4 or 5 o'clock, stopping then to make overnight camp. Try to allow at least 3 hours of daylight. What? Okay, just at before sunrise, so about 6 o'clock in the morning. Breakfast, so 6 to 5. Okay, so about 12 hours. Stopping to make overnight camp. Try to allow at least 3 hours of daylight for performing the necessary chores, preparing an evening meal, making repairs, taking care of the animals, gathering firewood or buffalo chips, and if necessary, hunting or gathering food. Bed down as soon after dark as possible, or at least practical, and get a good night's sleep, which probably won't be difficult considering how hard you will be working on the trail. Sleep usually comes quickly. If you don't get enough sleep, your health will suffer. Under extreme circumstances, the wagon train may determine to rise earlier, travel longer, and stop later. But such a strenuous or even grueling pace of travel should be adopted rarely if at all, and certainly not maintained for an extended period of time. Both people and animals will suffer for it. Take plenty of bread stuff, flour, crackers, biscuits, and the like. Get them clean and fresh, made of the best grain. After reaching the Platte River region, most breadstuffs will keep sweet for the remainder of the journey because the arid climate preserves it. It is generally best to carry 200 pounds of breadstuff per person. Okay, so 600 pounds. 600 pounds. Take more if you have room, for it may prove as valuable as gold towards the end of the journey. 600 pounds. Of other items, take whatever suits your taste within the generally accepted guidelines of good nutrition. Take enough for 6 months based upon your own calculations for your needs. The table on the following page provides a list of some of the foodstuffs you might consider taking along with basic guidelines as to how much of each item is needed per person. Not all of these items may be needed, but some items may be substituted for others in the same list. Okay, so 600 pounds pork. 600 pounds pork, 600 pounds foodstuff. Okay. 60 pounds fruit. 60 pounds lard. Let's say 100 pounds of rice. Baking soda. Other important foodstuffs to consider are pickles, useful for preventing scurvy, vinegar, also good for preventing scurvy, and useful as preservative. Various spices to your taste, such as pepper, cinnamon, allspice, cloves, nutmeg, and rosemary. These are good for improving the flavor of foods as preservatives and for medicinal purposes. Potatoes, preserved potatoes are best. Onions, ham, canned or preserved meats such as sardines or pemmican, and maple syrup. Some type of oil such as linseed oil or olive oil is needed for cooking, okay? Medicinal purposes and other practical uses. Butter and cheese are also desirable. A bottled alcoholic beverage such as whiskey or brandy is desirable for both internal and external medicinal purposes. Other medicinal items you might want to take along are subsequently discussed at greater length. Wild game. The dependence on wild game for meat is precarious at best. You must leave the trail and interrupt the regular process of the journey. The certain areas and at various times of the year game is extremely scarce. Hunts also provide some of the most common opportunities for injuries. Emigrants are generally best off hunting only when it is absolutely necessary. Prairie rifles are best for hunting large game. With smaller game such as birds, squirrels, and rabbits, you should probably rely on a shotgun. A pistol won't be of much use except in hunting, except perhaps for small animals at very close range. Be sure to take good care of your firearms. A protective sheath is highly recommended for rifles or shotguns. It helps keep them in prime condition and reduces the likelihood of an accident. When buffalo are at hand, they may be easily shot, making for good and plentiful eating. Buffalo meat, particularly from the cows, is sweet and wholesome. It can be easily preserved by cutting it into thin strips which are then dried in the sun. When hunting buffalo, it often takes more than one shot to bring one down. It does no good to shoot them in the head, for a rifle ball cannot penetrate the skull. It is best to hit them just back of the shoulder, approaching them from downward. Buffalo can be dangerous, however. To hunt a buffalo stampede is a fearsome, unstoppable thing, and a wounded bull may turn and charge. Keep in mind that it is often said that buffalo are fast disappearing and in a few years may become extinct. The antelopes of the plains, also called pronghorns, are among the swiftest animals in the world, and are therefore difficult to shoot when running. They are, however, curious creatures that often allow humans to approach surprisingly close before bolting. Because of their small size, they do not provide nearly as much meat as the buffalo, but antelope meat is said to be both delicious and nutritious. One of the animals most frequently seen in the western trails are jackrabbits. There is little meat on a jackrabbit. One can barely provide a full meal for a single person, but in situation of dire necessity, a small meal of a jackrabbit can be the difference between survival and starvation. Among the other animals you may see on hunts are ground squirrels and other close relatives of prairie dogs, elk, deer, moose, and assorted species of game birds. Mountain men have long extolled the virtues of bear meat, but bear is dangerous game best left undisturbed. Few creatures are more dangerous to a man than a wounded bear. Mountain lions are also best left alone, not only because of the dangers they pose, but also because their flesh is said to be quite foul in taste. Yeah. No thank you. Some, but not all western rivers, most notably the Snake, provide excellent fishing. Emigrants who do not wish to fish for themselves can often trade with the northern Indians for salmon. Numerous plants located along the western trails can be eaten quite safely, but one should be careful not to eat any plant that is doubtful for poisonous varieties can also be found. Various wild berries, currants, and nuts are almost always safe bets. Prickly pear is plentiful in some areas, but must be collected with care on account of their thorns. Clothing supplies. Each person should have at least 3 full sets of clothing. 3 full sets of clothing. Okay, ideally 4 or 5. Extra sets of clothing are also useful for fur trading. They are much desired by the Indians. A heavy winter coat for each person is essential. Even in the summer night, temperatures can become quite cold, especially in the mountains. If you are unlucky enough to fail to reach your destination before winter hits, lack of heavy winter clothing can be fatal. Wear good, strong, high-quality shoes or boots. You will be doing more walking than you ever dreamed possible, covering anywhere from 1,500 to more than 2,000 miles over the course of several months. Spare shoes or boots are highly desirable, or at least good leather for repairs to worn footwear. Clothing made of strong tooled cotton, flannel, sheepskin, or deerskin is ideal. Have extra cotton socks. They will wear out quickly. No finery for either men or women. No finery. Dress practically and comfortably in good, sturdy clothing as you would for hard work, for that is precisely what travel on the Western Trail is. Each person should have a hat or bonnet with a wide brim, important for shading the face from the hot summer sun. You should have a good rifle with a long range appropriate for use on the plains or the mountains. You should also take at least 1 and ideally 2 holster pistols and between 1 and 5 pounds of gunpowder. Of course, you also need bullets. If you take a shotgun, be sure to carry shot as well. It is very important that you take candles and soap along your journey. The best candles are made of beeswax, although tallow candles will suffice. In lieu of candles, a good lantern supplied with plenty of extra lantern oil will substitute quite nicely. Soap will prove essential to your health, allowing you to wash thoroughly before preparing food and eating. It will also be much appreciated at those rivers where you choose to bathe. Clothes that are regularly washed last longer and again are important for good health. Soap also has some medicinal uses, especially for animals, so you should be sure to take plenty along. Better to take a little more than you need than a little less. Soap is often a much desired commodity in trading. Friction matches are an extremely valuable commodity on the trail. You will always need campfires for cooking, boiling hot water for washing, and providing light and warmth at night. While fires can be started by various other means, these are more difficult and time-consuming. You should be sure to take along enough matches for a 5 to 6 month journey. If you use matches at the rate of 2 or 3 per day, that means taking roughly 500 matches. Keep in mind that these must be stored carefully in such a way that they cannot get wet. Pack them high in your wagon, far above the wagon bed, yet covered with materials that will protect them from any rain that might soak through the wagon cover. The following list delineates from other items you will find useful on the journey. You may not feel that you need each and every item on the list, and you should feel free to ignore those supplies that you don't believe you would use. On the other hand, you should carefully consider each one, also adding any additional items that aren't listed but that you feel would be to your advantage to take along. Muskin cloth, bending yarn, oilcloth rifle case, drinking cup, sheath knife, axe hatchet, pickaxe, sickle, shovel, saw, rasp, hammer, nails, needles, thread, rope, chain, stool, tin lantern, kettle, baking pan, frying pan, skillet, Dutch oven, coffee pot, coffee mill, small water keg, ladle, eating utensils, knives, forks, and spoons, owns fishing equipment for some, but not all, the western rivers provide a bounty of fish, which can provide a most welcome change of diet on the trail. Butter churn, canteen, butcher knife, compass, pocket watch, and water pill. You would be wise to take spare wagon parts such as one or more wagon wheels, axles, and tongues. Consider also spare yokes and harnesses. Though these items are large and heavy, taking up much room in or attached to your wagon, they can prove extremely important for replacing broken wagon parts. Be sure to take along grease for lubricating the wheels and axles as well. As pitch, useful for preparing wagons for river crossings. I need what? Grease? If you or any member of your party is musically inclined, you shouldn't neglect the positive effect musical instruments can have on the morale of cross-country travelers. There's nothing like a happy sound of a guitar, banjo, fiddle, flute, or harmonica to lift the sagging spirits after a long, hard day on the trail. Many immigrants have chosen to take a diary or journal along for keeping a record of their journey. While this is by no means essential, it can prove useful for several reasons. First, one can learn from the lessons of the past, so a good record of previous events can help in making decisions about subsequent ones. Second, later, immigrants may find their writings useful in their own endeavors. And third, you and your family and later generations may come to regard your diary as an important historical record. While it is possible for a lone wagon party to complete the journey, it is by no means advisable. There is strength, security, and comfort in numbers. Before starting a journey, join up with a wagon train of at least 5 wagons. Okay, preferably 10 or more. Trains of more than 20 wagons, however, can cause additional problems such as overgrazing and the land at any one time and place. Try to go in company with quiet, peaceful, responsible people. Avoid braggarts. They seldom perform as well as they talk. Generally, the more and louder someone talks, the less they're worth listening to. Wagon trains can be formed and governed along various lines. Some trains make the journey quite successfully with no bylaws and no captains or trail guides. The people in each wagon simply tend to their own business and have relatively little to do with the folks in the other wagons. Other wagon trains elect captains or hire trail guides who may have varying degrees of control over the wagon train as a whole. Some captains and trail guides have nearly absolute authority. Others serve merely as leaders among equals, with the decisions subject to the approval or disapproval of the wagon train. Still, other wagon trains have no single leader, but instead meet regularly as a council once or twice a week. Plus, whenever an emergency arises, to make decisions by a majority rule. There are various advantages and disadvantages to these different forms of government. There is much to be said for the efficiency of a single captain or trail guide, though it may be dangerous to place your welfare in the hands of a single individual, especially if that individual should prove unequal to the task. A council form of government is more democratic, if less efficient, but may inspire splits in the wagon train as disagreements arise and parties form along different lines of thought. Begin your journey on April, if at all possible, and certainly no later than the first half of May. If you leave too late, you may not make it to your destination before the winter snows block your progress, in which case you may face dire consequences. Those who leave late are also often forced to eat the dust of wagons ahead of them on the trail. The trail may already be overgrazed, and because of contamination to the waters, there may be greater likelihood of such diseases as cholera. On the other hand, if you leave too early, you may encounter late spring snows, and there probably won't be enough grass and other forage for your draft animals. Okay, so I need to change it to April. Diseases. Disease is perhaps the single leading cause of death for immigrants in the Western Trails. Travelers may be susceptible to many diseases depending on their general overall health and the current circumstances under which they find themselves. But the following diseases are among the most likely, described along with their symptoms and best course of treatment. Alkali sickness. People rarely have alkali sickness, which comes from drinking water or eating plants contaminated by excessively alkaline compounds, but occurs much more frequently in animals. Symptoms begin a few hours after consuming the contaminated substance. First, the animal shows signs of lameness and lack of vitality, followed by difficult breathing and total prostration. Death is inevitable within 24 hours unless treatment begins promptly. The best treatment is to administer a large dose of grease, lard, vinegar, or a mixture of flour and water, followed by rest. This provides a 50-50 chance to recover. If the animal survives the first 24 hours, it should be allowed to rest another day before being forced to work again. Cholera is probably the single most dreaded disease on the Western Trails. It strikes and kills quickly, usually within the first day or two of the attack, and is most common during or following periods of heavy rains. It is caused by infected water or food, with symptoms beginning between 1 and 3 days after the infected material is consumed. The first symptom is sudden, severe diarrhea, followed by vomiting, skin that is cold and clammy to the touch, severe muscle cramps, and a faint pulse. If a victim survives the first day or two, he or she is likely to recover, though full recovery may take anywhere from 4 to 14 days. The best treatment is total rest along with fluid and salt repletion. Laudanum or other tincture of opium may be administered to help calm the bowels and put an end to the diarrhea and vomiting. Diphtheria. Diphtheria is a contagious disease that generally occurs only during the winter months and most often strikes children under the age of 10. Its early symptoms include fever, sore throat, and fatigue, followed by difficulty in breathing and paralysis. Treatment involves rest and fluids. Dysentery is characterized by abdominal cramps or pain accompanied by severe diarrhea, perhaps accompanied by blood. Untreated, it can lead to dehydration, blood poisoning, and death. It is thought to be caused by contaminated food or water and may become a chronic condition. The best treatment is rest along with fluid and salt repletion, and a good balanced diet. Laudanum or other tincture of opium may be administered to help bring the end to the diarrhea. So I need laudanum. Gripe, which usually occurs during the winter months or other periods of prolonged cold and damp weather, is spread by contact with infected persons. The symptoms are essentially those of a very bad cold, accompanied by fever, chills, and muscle aches. The disease runs its course in from 3 to 7 days, with a few additional days required for full recovery. The best treatment is rest, fluids, and a balanced diet. Though lecithin has been known to alleviate symptoms and hasten the recovery of health. Malaria. Malaria is generally thought of as a disease of the tropics, but it has been known to strike immigrants along the trail in the Platte River region or shortly after. Its symptoms include severe headaches, chills, fever, and profuse sweating. The disease may either run its course or may become a chronic recurring condition. The best treatment for malaria is quinine, a well-known medicine derived from the bark of the South American cinchona tree, together with lots of rest. Okay, so I need quinine. Measles is a highly contagious disease that most often strikes children, but adults can get it if they've never had it before. Its early symptoms resemble those of a cold followed by a fever, the appearance of a red, splotchy skin rash, and sensitivity of the eyes to bright light. Measles is fairly fatal except among the elderly or among people who seem to have little or no natural resistance to the disease, such as many American Indians. The best treatment is rest, good food, and the avoidance of bright light. Mountain fever. Mountain fever is a mysterious ailment that was unknown until recent years with travel in the western wilderness. It is not known what causes it. It gets its name from the fact that people seldom, if ever, come down with the disease before having traveled in the Rocky Mountains. It rarely occurs any time other than in the late spring and early summer. Early symptoms include fever, headache, loss of appetite, and weakness. Later, chills and insomnia set in, accompanied by spotty skin rash, especially on the wrists and ankles. In very serious cases, victims suffer from severe disorientation and mental confusion. It is uncertain at this time what its best treatment is, but rest and fever control seem essential. The disease usually runs its course in from 10 to 14 days down, with a recovery period of at least a week following. Scarlet fever. Scarlet fever is a contagious disease that usually only strikes children. Early symptoms include fever, sore throat, and headache, sometimes accompanied by vomiting. Later, a bright reddish rash appears in the skin, especially on the neck and chest. The face is flushed red, and the throat, tongue, and gums are swollen and sore. Organ damage and death may occur without treatment. Hold on. Scarlet fever. Organ damage and death may occur without treatment. Proper treatment consists of rest, fluids, and a good diet. Scarlet fever runs its course over a period of from 4 to 7 days with at least a week of recovery needed afterwards. Damn. Scurvy is caused by a lack of fresh fruits and vegetables in the diet. The initial symptoms include irritability and swollen and bleeding gums. This is followed by the loosening and loss of teeth, soreness and stiffness in joints, and slow healing of wounds. A person suffering from scurvy also becomes more susceptible to other diseases. Scurvy can be prevented as well as treated by regularly eating fresh fruits and vegetables. When no fresh fruits or vegetables are available, it has been observed that pickles or vinegar work to prevent and treat scurvy as well. Smallpox. Smallpox is a greatly feared disease because of its both severe and extremely contagious. The first symptom is fever, sometimes accompanied by vomiting. After 2 to 3 days, painful pus-filled lesions erupt on the skin, particularly on the face, arms, and legs. These lesions dry up after about a week, leaving scabs that after they heal often leave permanent scars. The disease must run its course, otherwise healthy adults have a very good chance of surviving. But small children and the elderly die at alarming rates. The best care for a person with smallpox is lots of rest and fluids. Once a person has had smallpox, he or she becomes immune to the disease for life, and therefore becomes an ideal candidate for caring for other smallpox victims. Typhoid fever. Typhoid fever is spread by contaminated food or water. Its early symptoms are headache, body aches, fever, and weakness, followed by red skin rash, insomnia, nosebleeds, coughing, and digestive disruption, either diarrhea or constipation. It can lead to organ failure and death. Proper treatment consists of rest and attempts to control the fever. Typhoid tends to be a prolonged disease taken anywhere from 18 to 28 days to run its course. Treatments. Rest, fever. Typhus. It is not known what causes the disease known as typhus. Early symptoms include a sudden headache, chills, fever, and body pains, followed by a rash that covers most of the body. Loss of appetite and total prostration may also occur. Without treatment, severe cases can lead to blood poisoning and death, particularly among children and the elderly. The best treatment is to rest and the relieving of the persistent pains through the use of sedatives such as laudanum. Oh, I'm going to get so much laudanum. It's going to be ridiculous. Other mishaps that may occur along the trail include sprains, broken bones, which should be carefully set in place in a splint, preferred but not necessarily by a physician, followed by several days of rest, and snake bites. Rattlesnakes are the only types of poisonous snakes one is likely to encounter along the trail, but in some regions they are quite common. Proper treatment for a snake bite is as follows. Apply a tourniquet above the wound site to hinder the flow of the poison to other parts of the body. Lacerate the wound and suck out the poison. Be careful not to swallow it and dress the wound. No, you don't do that. That's been proven false. The patient must be kept quiet and at rest again to restrict the flow of poison through the body. Otherwise, healthy adults sometimes recover without treatment, although they will be extremely sick for several days. Children, the elderly, or the infirm will certainly die of snake bite without treatment. With proper treatment, full recovery usually occurs within 2 to 4 days. Okay, so maybe lacerate the wound and suck up. Oh God. God, that sounds so terrible. Wounds caused by accidents or gunshots must be taken very seriously. Should a wound fail to heal properly and become infected, the patient's health can suffer greatly. Any wound should be thoroughly washed and treated with alcohol or hydrogen peroxide. If necessary, alum may be used to stop bleeding. Bandage the wound with a clean cloth and change the bandage often. If a wound becomes infected, clean and treat it again. The application of sulfur may help to eliminate the infection and hasten healing. An infected wound that is not treated properly may lead to gangrene, in which case amputation may be necessary, and even then it may be too late to save the patient's life. Burns should also be washed thoroughly and treated with a soothing ointment such as aloe vera. If a burn becomes infected, treat it as you would any other infected wound in case of frostbite. In case of frostbite, warm the affected body parts gradually, not rapidly, which may cause further tissue damage. As in the case of any other types of wounds, improperly treated burns and frostbite can result in gangrene. What about it? As the old adage goes, an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. In other words, you should do whatever necessary to try to stay healthy, and the best way to prevent illness and injury alike is to avoid pushing yourself too hard. Eat well and get the rest you need. Some health problems, however, may be unavoidable. For most diseases and injuries, the best course of treatment is the same as the best course of prevention. Plenty of rest, good food, and good water. Still, it is probably wise to bring at least some medicinal supplies with you on your journey. The following items may be especially helpful. Okay, aloe vera. Ointment prepared from aloe vera plant is very soothing on burns, rashes, and skin irritations. An astringent handy for treatment for wounds, although it does little to prevent infection. Alum can be very helpful in slowing or stopping severe bleeding. Camphor, a stimulant that when breathed in can help awaken the unconscious, relieve fainting, or restore dazed senses. Capsicum, a pungent plant derivative that can be used as a gastric stimulant or counter-irritant. When dissolved in warm water, can be used externally to soak sprained joints, thus alleviating pain and swelling. Taken internally, it serves as a laxative and cathartic. Isopropyl alcohol, an antiseptic that is useful in treating wounds, helping to prevent infection and in relieving the swelling and soreness resulting from sprains. Hydrogen peroxide and iodine, other antiseptics helpful in treating wounds for the purpose of preventing infection. Laudanum, a tincture of opium that can serve to halt diarrhea or calm an upset stomach, or relieve severe pain from serious wounds or certain ailments. It should be used with extreme caution, however, for it can be addictive. Yeah, and an overdose can result in death. Lecithin, a phosphoric compound derived from corn or egg yolks that has been found useful in alleviating the symptoms of respiratory ailments, particularly the magnesia, an effective laxative. Peppermint spearmint, useful in calming upset stomachs and relieving nausea. Quinine, the best known treatment for malaria, derived from the bark of the cinchona tree in the South America. Salt. In case of prolonged vomiting or diarrhea, patients generally require repletion. How do you say that? Repletion of their bodily fluids and salt. Sulfur, used to treat infected wounds, helping to prevent the spread of infection. Witch hazel, another astringent useful for slowing or stopping bleeding from minor wounds. Various spices and other household substances may also have medicinal uses. Some patient medicines that are widely available may be helpful in some cases, although they often have little if any true value. Remember, however, that all medicinal items must be used with great care, and always be sure to keep them hidden from or inaccessible to small hands. Many an unsupervised child has lost his or her life from having consumed medicine that was not properly stored out of reach. River crossings. While traveling west, you may inevitably cross many rivers and creeks. Some are quite easy to cross, while others are far, far challenging, even dangerous. In fact, it is widely believed that the accidents and drownings at river crossings account for more deaths on the western trails than perhaps any other single factor except cholera. When you come to a river, you must check its current conditions and determine the best means of crossing. If the weather is very bad, if the water is too high, or if the current is too fast, you may want to wait a day or two before crossing. Waiting for conditions to improve, on the other hand, you probably cannot afford to wait too long, so you should look for the best location to cross and do so whenever possible. If a river at its steepest point is no more than 2.5 feet deep, 2.5 feet deep, you can probably ford it safely, simply forcing your draft animals into the water, pulling the wagon across with them. Even if the river is as much as 3 feet deep, fording may be accomplished by raising the bed of the wagon slightly with wooden blocks, though there is always the risk of some supplies getting wet. Do not attempt to ford a river that is more than 3 feet deep. If the river is more than 2.5 or 3 feet deep, your best bet is to float your wagon across. At the water's edge, unhitch the animals, cover the bottom of your wagon bed with pitch, remove the wheels, and push the wagon onto the water. If your wagon is not too heavily laden with supplies, it will float. On the other hand, it may be necessary to leave some supplies behind in order to get your wagon to float. You can use long poles to force and guide your wagon across the river. The animals must swim across. As you cross, always move with the direction of the current, not against it. Moving against the current will increase the likelihood of the wagon tipping, but moving with the current will make the task of crossing a little easier. If you have a long rope or chain, you may be able to use it to help pull or guide your wagon across the river. At some river crossings, you may encounter ferry operators who will take your wagon across you. Ferry operators generally charge at least $1 for the service and often $3, $4, or $5 or more. Despite this expense, many immigrants choose to take advantage of the ferry, for it is often the safest means of crossing. At some rivers, however, you may have to wait several hours, even days, for your turn to use the ferry. This is especially true if you are in a large wagon train or begin traveling fairly late in the season. If a river has a bridge, of course, that is an even safer method of crossing. Some bridges are free, while others require a toll fee. For the sake of both speed and safety, paying a toll to use a bridge is almost always worth the price. If you are unfortunate enough to be traveling during winter months, you may encounter rivers that have frozen over. This can be both a blessing and a curse. Unless there's a bridge, the only way to cross a frozen river is to simply set out across the ice. If the ice is at least several inches thick, it should support the weight of your animals and wagon, though you should proceed slowly and carefully as to not to slip on the ice and to increase your chance of getting across without mishap. However, ice that is less than, let's say, 4 inches thick should not be crossed. If the ice were to break beneath you, the results could be devastating. You could lose everything, including your life. It is best simply to wait for the ice either to melt or thicken. This, of course, is but one reason why you should strive to complete your journey before winter sets in. If you use a bridge or a ferry, you have no choice as to where you cross. If, however, you're fording or floating, you must choose the best locations to begin and end the crossing. Avoid high, steep banks if at all possible. Beware of thick mud and quicksand. Pick the narrowest part of the river unless that side has some other disadvantage, such as steep banks. Steep hills and canyons. Climbing and descending steep hills, canyons, and mountain passages are another major challenge of the overland journey. Hills are a common site of wagon accidents, injuries, and even deaths. First of all, you should not attempt to negotiate a steep hill in adverse weather. If you come to a hill while it is raining, proceed no further until the rain has stopped. If it was a hard rain and the ground has become muddy and slippery, wait for the soil to dry before trying to climb or descend the hill. You need good traction while going up or down the hill. If you must climb a steep hill, your draft animals may be able to do the job as they normally would if your wagon is not too heavy. You may need to lighten your load if necessary. You and your fellows in travel can double team your animals, that is, you can borrow another wagon's animals, hitch them with your own, and together the two teams can pull your wagon up. Then you unhitch the animals, drag them back down the hill, and hope the two teams back up to the second wagon, which then they pull up. Another option is to use a long, strong rope or chain, if you have one. Unhitch the animals and drag them up the hill to the ground that is more nearly level. Then use the rope or chain to attach them back up to the wagon, still down at the bottom of the hill. They can then pull the wagon up, with their work being a little easier since they themselves are no longer on the incline. This, of course, works only on relatively short uphill climbs, though it can be used over longer climbs if it has alternating stretches of steep and sometimes somewhat flatter paths, which is sometimes the case in the mountains. Though one might think that going down a hill would be considerably easier than going up a hill, such is not the case. In fact, downhill descents are quite a bit more dangerous than uphill climbs. This is because of the pull of gravity on the wagons as it descends the hill, with there always being the possibility of it breaking out of control and running. Hi, Sydney. Breaking adequate or running away, perhaps causing serious damage or injury in the process. Before beginning the descent, be sure to lock the wheels to increase their resistance. If a small tree or large stone is available nearby, you may want to attach it to the rear of the wagon so that it might serve as an anchor, increasing the resistance even more. Another technique, if you have a long rope or chain, is to attach one end to the wagon and wrap the other end around the tree or some item that can function as a pulley. This will enable you to lower the wagon down the hill gradually. How are you? You're drafting down the do I need to go to Columbia? If you travel to Oregon and the final leg of your journey is to raft down the Columbia, you can choose one of two methods to go down the river from the Dales. The first way is to raft yourself, loading all of your goods, perhaps even including your wagon and animals, onto a raft of your own construction and then head down the river on your own. Because most immigrants to Oregon have little or no experience rafting down rivers, and certainly not with the Columbia River itself, this may be a risky course of action, but it is cheap. On the other hand, if you can afford their high prices, you may want to hire one of the professional rafters who avail themselves at the Dales. They load you up on their own raft and maneuver the draft for you. Because of their experience, this is a much safer strategy, but again, you have to be willing to pay their exorbitant rates. If you raft down the river yourself, you must be sure to strike land at the pace known as Cascade Portage. Which lies just before the place where Columbia becomes a frothing stretch of rocky rapids, virtually impassable for a watercraft of any sort to try to negotiate. The rapids is to court almost certain death and destruction. Land at Cascade Portage on the south left bank of the river and transport your goods over the land for 4 miles, going around the rapids. When you get to McCord Creek, you may resume rafting, for the rapids are now behind you. Farther down the river, you will see Fort Vancouver on the north right bank. This is a good place to stop, rest, and if necessary, buy additional supplies. Just past Fort Vancouver, the Willamette River flows into the Columbia from the south. You raft up the Willamette to your destination. Okay, so I don't think I want to go to Jackson. Depending on which trails you take, especially if you're going to California, you may encounter one or more deserts on your journey. When you come to a desert, you may want to consider doing all or most of your traveling at night, which won't take as great a toll on people or animals. Get across the desert as quickly as possible when either you or the animals will last long without water. If you have a water keg or canteens, you may be able to carry enough water with you for human consumption, but it is impossible to carry enough water for your animals. All that water would be much too heavy for them to pull. If possible, before you reach the desert, stop at some fertile pasture to gather up and store grass to use as hay for your animals in the desert. They may be able to get the moisture they need by eating the hay, and this may help them survive the ordeal. Indian peoples in the West. The Western Indians are a very great source of fear among immigrants, but it is a fear that is greatly exaggerated. Some travelers have been known to cross the entire breadth of the continent from the Missouri River to the Sierra Nevadas without ever laying eye on an Indian, except perhaps for occasional brief sightings from a distance. This is all well and good, for it is probably best for all parties concerned for immigrants and Indians to avoid contact with each other. Such meetings are often the source of misunderstandings, sometimes with regrettable consequences. Further, contact with the immigrants often spreads disease among Indian peoples, which increases their distrust and dislike of the settlers. Depending on which trails you travel, the Indian peoples you are most likely to encounter include the Potawatomi, Lakota, more commonly known as the Sioux, Kansa, Arapaho, Pawnee, Shoshone, Bannock, Paiute, Uti, Umatia, and Cayuse. In addition, there is a large number of other Indian nations in California and southern Oregon, such as the Shasta, Miwok, Yuktuks, and Klamath. You may well happen upon Chinook traders, especially at or near forts of Oregon country. The Chinook are famed as traveling merchants, trading widely with many different Indian nations as well as with immigrants. Perhaps the most likely sites where you may encounter Indians are at river crossings, where some of them may offer to help you cross and exchange your goods and trade. This is generally a wise investment, for the Indian people have great experience at crossing the rivers in their respective regions, and often know the crossing sites like the back of their hands. As long as you are fair in your dealing, you will rarely go wrong hiring an Indian help you cross your river. At other times, it may happen upon a trading party or village where an exchange of goods may prove mutually beneficial. Indians that you meet at forts or trading posts may be willing to trade or provide useful information. Hunting and war parties, however, should be avoided at all costs. Never fire upon Indians unless you are fired upon first. That is a sure path to disaster. And do not overhunt the game in any one area. Few things will incur the wrath of an Indian peoples more than the overstayed welcome accompanied by the egregious waste of the natural resources which they depend. Arriving at your destination. Once you reach the end of your journey, you should go to the nearest large town to establish your land claim. If there are no large towns in the area, simply find an unclaimed tract of land and settle down. Build your cabin, plow, and sow your fields. As they say, possession is 9/10 of the law, and if you have settled and worked land that hasn't yet been claimed by anyone else, you should have little or no trouble legally establishing your claim at a later time. If you don't intend to farm, you may well find success in some other field of endeavor. Some immigrants to the new country have earned their living as prospectors and miners, others as storekeepers, such as some as trappers, and still others in any of the many other economic activities that the Westerlands support. As more and more Americans move onto the region, more cities and towns will spring up, further increasing one's options for economic success. Rest assured in the facts that men and women who are willing to work hard will find their labors richly rewarded, and that you, by getting west, are helping to spread American civilization from ocean to ocean across this great continent, building a glorious future for generations to come. Good luck to you. Points and landmarks. How do I get to Jacksonville? Fort Lauderdale. Southern Post, located about a mile south of the North Platte River, Some implies this is where the Mormon Trail links up with the Oregon Trail in its current stretch. Okay, let's start in April. And Jacksonville. How am I gonna get to Jacksonville? Large. Okay, Melody and Sand Jr. Butcher. April 1860. Let's go earlier. Let's go 1840. What? Willamette Valley or Sacramento Valley? What about 1850? Rogue River. Hold on. 41? 42. 43. 44. So I was born in the Rogue River. So I'm from Medford. So I'm liking this Rogue River. Okay. 1850, Rogue River Valley, doing it. Prologue. You're a butcher who has come to independence in 1850 for the purpose of setting off in a journey west to Rogue River Valley. You have already bought a large farm wagon, but you still need to buy the other supplies you will need for your journey. As you wander the streets of Independence, you will see various stores that should be able to provide you with supplies, provided you have enough cash. You will also see people who may be able to give you some good advice.
Have you bought the supplies you need yet? If not, you'd best hurry. Stock up on food before heading out, And not just meat. You need a good diet with variety in order to stay healthy.
Wait a second. Actually, I don't know what would be a good bargain.
Howdy.
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 The merchants here in town offer basic packages of supplies based on the size of one's party and estimated length of journey. Of course, you can shop around on your own or add to the basic set. So, which package would you like?
I'm gonna skip the Independence Messenger. South Carolina Senator John C. Calhoun dies.
Howdy. Hello.
Hey, you looking for a wagon train to hook up with? Our train's still in need of a few more wagons. You want to join us? We're planning on leaving soon. We're a large group of good, hard-working folks. I wouldn't even dream of heading out on the trail alone, or even with any fewer than 10 wagons. The more people you go with, the greater your chances of survival, and that's the gospel truth.
Why can't I go into the butcher? Yes, it's a good shop. All items. Let's see. All spice. Alum. Let's get some alum. Ammonia. Anise. I'll take an axe. How many? Okay. I need. 600 pounds of bacon. It's only $30 for 600 pounds of bacon? Am I gonna need that much bacon? Fuck it. I'm doing it. I'll skip a banjo. Bags of beans. Tin of biscuits. Kind of expensive. Let's get 3 blankets. One bonnet. Pairs of boots. Let's do 5 pairs of boots. Borax. Borax is for clothes. So let's just use brandy. Let's do a couple bottles of brown. Yards of brown muskin cloth. 10 yards. 10 yards. Boxes of, we'll skip bullets. Butcher knives. Let's get a butcher knife. A butcher knife? I mean, I am a butcher. Pounds of butter. Skip butter. Butter churn. That's kind of cool. But I don't need butter if I can't churn the butter. Chamomile. That's good. Camphor. That's like smelling stuff. Okay. How many dozen candles? Let's go. 10 dozen candles. 10 dozen candles? Yes. I want candy. Cans of sardines? No. Canteens. We'll do 2 canteens. Cast iron stove. No stove. Castor oil. Celery. Do 20 pounds of celery. That should last a week. Should last like a week. Checkers board. Yeah, checkers. Cheese. I definitely want cheese. Just eat good for a little bit at least. Cloves. We'll get a couple bottles of cloves. Coffee beans. Ooh. It's 50. Let's do 50 pounds. Coffee beans. We'll do coffee mill. Coffee pot. 2 compasses. For me and the missus. Cornmeal. Let's do 50 pounds. Crackers. Okay, so I need 600 pounds. So if this is 50 pounds, I need 150 more. Let's do 20. So 20, that's 100 pounds. Oh no, I need 600 pounds. 600 pounds of 600 pounds of like flour goods. So that's 50 crackers. That's 200 pounds. 300 pounds. So 350. Do I really need 350 pounds of crackers? Yes. That's $66, so crap. Let's make it 40 for now. So that's 200 pounds of crackers. Hell yeah. Get a couple playing cards in here. Dover's powder, I don't know what that is. Dried beans. Okay, so if I go beans, so hold on. Okay, 600 total. Biscuits. Biscuits sound so good right now. Let's do 50. But that's $10. Skip biscuits. No. Okay, 600 pounds of bacon. So meat is good. Actually, let's do 400 pounds of bacon. So 200 pounds can be supplemented through other stuff. But it's so cheap. 500 pounds. No. 400 is good. 400 pounds of bacon. Okay. 400 pounds of bacon. Put that other. So 50. 250. 250. 250. We'll put this 300. So I need 300 more pounds of 5-pound tins of dried. Okay. I definitely need dried fruit. Okay. Let's do 100 pounds of dried fruit. So 600 pounds of meat. So I'll probably need 600 pounds of other stuff too. So that's 200 pounds. Crap. Okay. Let's do 25. Duffy's, I don't know what that is. But definitely some Dutch ovens. Epsom salts. Then a couple of those. Fiddle, don't need fiddle. Fishing net. Fishing poles. A couple of fishing spears. Okay, flour. So that was 250. 250. Let's get 200 pounds of flour. So that's 450. That should be pretty good. That's pretty good, right? Let's get a flute. Mrs. can play a flute. Let's get 20 pounds of garlic. Good, no. Okay, so the grease is for the wagon. So let's just get 20 pounds of grease. I'll play guitar. Kegs of gunpowder. I will get one thing of gunpowder. So I got 600 pounds of bacon. No, I got 400 pounds of bacon. So we'll do 100 pounds of ham. What's a hope chest? No hope chest. Couple chests. Hunting knife. Two hunting knives. Iodine. Double up on that. A kettle. Let's get a couple. Let's get a ladle. A lantern. A lantern. Okay, I guess we get 2 lanterns. It'll be a rare thing. Slabs of lard. I'm gonna get so much bacon, it's pretty much gonna come with me. I guess I should be starting the game now. We'll just go ahead and get 20 pounds of lard. Jars of licorice. Linseed oil. Okay, I need oil. But I got bacon. I don't really need oil. I'll get 80 ounces. Get 6 bottle underwear, 6 pairs. Matches. Get 10 boxes of matches. Okay, so a box of match. Get 20 boxes of matches. Six. Fine, 5 pairs. Molasses, get a couple jars. No mules, bottles of mustard, get a couple bottles of mustard. Sacks of oats. So that's the flour. Did I buy enough flour? Let's just get 100 pounds. Olive oil. Say 16 ounces, so we'll go 5. Sacks of onions, we'll go 100. Gotta have pepper. Gotta have peppermint. Pickaxe. I guess. 100 pounds of pickles. Easy. Pitchforks. I guess 1. Pocket watches. 2. Pots. Yeah. 2. 100 pounds of potatoes. Preserved potatoes. No. Preservatives. Somewhere. 100 pounds of rice. Let's get 30 foot. So 150 feet. 150 feet. Bottles of rosemary. No saddles. No saddles. Celeries. Sacks of salt. 100 pounds of salt. Easy. Salt pork. Salt pork. Let's get 100 pounds. I'm gonna have to do some adjustments before I buy everything. 2 pounds. Sassafras. Sauce. We'll get a saw. China. Yeah. Can we just get cooking utensils? Yeah. 6. Okay, so 6 sets each. So 3. 18. But that's not. So we'll get 3 sets each. We each have 3 sets of clothing. Cooking utensils. 3 sets each. Oh, cooking utensils. We'll just get 1 and 3. Shovels. Let's hope we don't need them. Get 2. Let's go with smoked salmon. That sounds so good right now. 10 bar boxes of soap. 500 bars of soap. 10 times 10 is 100, so 50 times 10 is 50. Horse wheels, spearmint, get 2. Let's get 50 pounds of sugar. God, I do need a table. Where are we gonna put the table? Pounds of tea, we'll get 10 pounds of tea. No. That's expensive. We're a coffee drinking family here. Get 2 tins. We'll get 10 cups. 2 plates. Let's get some tobacco. Turn. I definitely want me some vinegar. 150 pounds of vinegar. Washboards. 3 water kegs. Let's get 6 winter coats. 6 winter scarves. Okay, so let's go food. So 600 pounds of meat, so that's 400. 500. 550. 550. 550, 650. Okay, we'll make this 50. Okay. Okay. Now, we'll go flour stuff. So 600 pounds of flour stuff. 50, 250, 250, 250, 300, 300, 500. 600. Okay, so there's 600. And then now, fruit, vegetables. So, yes, candy. So, let's go. Okay, so 600, 600. That's 1200. 1200. See if anything's just out of the ordinary. So, It's 50 pounds of potato. 100 pounds of potatoes. Jeez. 4 months. Got a lot of sugar. Maybe they need the lard. Preserved potatoes. Do I even need 150 pounds of vinegar? So this is the 90 pounds. Okay, final check. Check, check, check. Animals. 8 oxen. Let's go 6. We'll go 6. No, I said 6. Go 6 for now, and then check. She needs at least 2 bonnets. 4 hats. each. Six. Let's do 3. Okay, that's good. We'll do 100 bullets. 100 bullets, 25 pounds. Butter churn. I don't need any of this stuff. Where's the loud dude? Yeah, I don't like. Why do they put medicine with the cooking? Just say 5. Actually, 5 is good. Yeah, I still need a loud dude. But whiskey's good for sleeping. Saxon oats. How's that? Oats. That should. If that's not food, okay. Food's. This is going away. No oats for us. We're gonna be strictly rice, flour, and potatoes. Saddles. I need 100 pounds of sugar. Oh, vinegar, salt, sugar. Uh, 20. $96. After that, sure is expensive. 100 pounds of sugar. One axe, one knife, 2 canteens, compass, Dutch oven, fishing net, frying pans. I have no wagon parts, but I have about $50 left. Okay, that's good. Okay.
Ain't this exciting? All these folks bustling about, getting ready to strike out on the trail. Just speaking for myself, I can't wait. I've spent pretty near all my life so far cooped up in my parents' home back east. But I just got married 4 weeks ago, and now my husband and I are heading out to make a new life for ourselves. I hear disease is the biggest danger on the trail. You gotta stay healthy, eat right, don't push yourself too hard, and get rest when you're sick. And be careful at rivers. Rivers kill almost as many people as disease, but I'm sure we'll do all right.
Have you decided the best time to leave yet? Well, some leave real early to get a jump on the other wagons and to give themselves plenty of time. But then there may not be much grass for the animals and you may run into spring snows. It's best not to leave too late either. Then you may not make it all the way before the winter snows hit. I'd recommend leaving in April or even early May.
That's what the book said.
Hello.
Exactly what the book said.
Howdy, stranger. It looks like you're fixing to head out west, too. Fine opportunity for people with the gumption to do it. We brought a few personal items with us, but we're hoping to buy our foodstuffs and fresh animals here. But I ain't too sure exactly where to go first. Don't devote any great portion of time to packing your wagon till you bring in all your supplies. We're planning to pack up the wagon whilst we're waiting for the train to assemble.
You decided yet which kind of draft animals you're going to use to pull your wagon? Well, you can pick oxen, mules, or horses. There's advantages and disadvantages to each. Oxen are cheap and strong, but prone to sickness.
What?
Mules cost more, but they's less likely to get sick. They can be stubborn, too. Horses are faster, but weaker. The other downside is they cost a lot, require feed grain, and are attractive to thieves. Well, since you ask, I'd go with oxen. The price is right, and you can't beat 'em for strength. They ain't too bright, but they's good old beasts. Besides, if you get into real dire straits, you can always eat 'em.
Hello.
Let's see. Chickens. Let's get some chickens. You guys want? Look at all those chickens. We'll get 2 chickens. Bales of hay. Pack saddles. Spare ox yokes. We will get 2 spare ox. We'll get a spare ox yoke. Spare horse or don't need that. Saddle. I don't need saddles. I don't need any of that. Okay. Get 1 spare ox yoke.
Hi there.
Howdy.
Okay, let's see if there's anything I missed. Butter. Oh, hold on. How much weight? 4,000 pounds. Okay. 8 hours a day. Travel pace. Let's do. Wait. So 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's do 10 hours a day. Okay. Guide. Itinerary. howdy. Okay, 4,200 pounds. What's my wagon weight? Weight to dump. Okay. I don't know what that means. Should have checked. Dried bread. I got lots of flour. Smoked salmon, yeast cake. That's good. Yeast cake. Blouses. We'll get a couple. We'll get a blouse for you, Missy. You'll have one dress. Let's see. We'll get 2 pairs of pants, 3 petticoats, 3 raincoats. Crap. 6 shirts. Pairs of shoes. Shit. Pairs of socks. 20 pairs of socks. Shit, that was a lot.
Hello.
Hello?
Oh, pardon me. I'm awful sorry. I just about ran you over. I'm kinda dumbstruck. I ain't never seen no place like this before. Well, I'm just a farm girl, and I ain't been to no big town or city before in my life. I don't reckon I've ever seen so many people in one place in all my born days. And there's so much going on, with all these folks getting ready to set out on the trail. You might want to do like most of these folks and stock up on supplies, if you haven't
I
already.
got all my
And find yourself a
supplies.
good-sized wagon train.
Pretty good.
That's what I've done.
Pretty good on
Well,
my
so long and best of luck to you.
pretty good on my wagon. I think I'm good to go.
Howdy.
Howdy. I think I'm good. Okay, I'll talk to you. Talk to you. Let's go here. What's over here? What's this
Hello,
at?
friend.
You're not
Say,
my friend.
has your wagon train formed yet? And have you met to form the council that'll provide guidance and governance on your long journey? The bylaws and regulations drawn up by your self-elected council will be your only law on the trail. You got to keep out the bad element and make arrangements for settling disputes. I have here a complete and elegantly scripted constitution, suited to all upright citizens. Drew it up myself. I had a year in law school, you know. If you let me join your wagon train, I'll be glad to offer this here constitution to you free of charge.
Excuse me, friend. You appear to be
Screw you.
making ready to head out west. Do you know of any people who are still in the process of forming a wagon train?
Maybe.
My husband and I, he's off buying supplies, are looking for a nice group of people to join in our move west. I'd say
You
you and
seem
I
nice.
both ought to find a wagon train.
Oh.
A 2,000-mile journey through the untamed wilderness is nothing to be undertaken lightly. There's strength in numbers, you know. Well, good day and good luck to you.
Thank you. Okay. Oh, snap. I need some aloe vera. Calomel. Calomel, yes. Yes. Oh my Mommy, I don't have any guns. I don't have any guns. Guns for this guy. Oh man, I got no wheels. I'm in trouble. Oh, I'm in trouble. Let's go. 10 wagons, for sure. Let's go. I've been elected captain. Yes. Captain River. Let's see. Muddy trail, slow going. River conditions. 2.5 feet, so we should be good to go. Let's go ahead and see who's around. Let's talk to this person.
Looks fairly deep to me. I say we float across.
It's only 2 feet.
You know, this riverbank makes for a good restin' place. Let's rest here a time before crossin'.
Thank you. Let's ford the river. Because I read my manual. It said anything more than 2 feet. Let's go to the town. Why not?
Glory be, more immigrants. There seems to be more you folks heading west every day. Forgive my suspicions, but you don't have any ruffians among you, do you? A few weeks back, a party came through with several mean scoundrels in it. They tore up the local saloon and right terrorized some of the people here.
Damn.
We do have a good store here, so you might want to visit there before you move on.
Hello. Hello.
Howdy.
This here town looks like a good place to stop and rest a spell.
Oh, really? I've seen you before.
I'm gonna see if they got a doctor around here. We got some sick folks who could use his attentions. You might want to check out the local store and see what they got in the way of supplies.
I have $0. I have no money. I have 64 cents. And I'm still missing stuff. Yeah, no.
Howdy do, neighbor. Are you in need of my services? You won't find a blacksmith much better than me. When I'm finished with my current batch of repairs, I'll be pleased to help you. I can make or repair wheel rims, shoe your animals, what have you, and I charge reasonable rates. Your animals and your wagon are the only things that'll assure your success on this journey. Worn out or sore-footed animals can get you in a heap of trouble. Take good care of them, and they'll take good care of you.
Anvil. Let's see, what do I want? I want a spare. We don't have anything I want. Maybe. What? 2 pounds of nails?
Hi there.
Pardon me, folks. I was wondering whether you've seen this character, Nasty Jack Finley.
Nasty Jack Finley.
He's a cattle rustler, horse thief, and all-round troublemaker.
It's a horse thief.
He's even been rumored to kill a man.
Oh.
There ain't no proof of it, yet. But he's due for a hanging, that's for sure. I'd recommend you steer clear of him. He can be a mean one. And if you see him, notify the local authorities as quick as you can. Well, good day to you.
Say, you're not from around here, are you?
Nope.
Oh, I bet you're with that wagon train that's passing through. You folks are more than welcome to stock up on supplies here. Watch yourself in these parts. Not everyone's as friendly as I am.
Thank you, sir.
What are we doing wasting time here? Let's get a move on.
Yeah. You probably have a point there. Oh, I'm in trouble. Undertaker. Let's go. Okay, I have no spare wheels. I have to make it 3 months. Oh, without any wheels. Oh, I'm in trouble.
Pardon me, folks. I was wondering whether you've seen...
I've talked to you.
Say, you're not from around...
We've been here, didn't we? Didn't we go here? Oh.
Hey, watch where you're going. What do you think? You own the place? You're one of them immigrants going out west on the trail, ain't you?
Jesus.
You just watch your step around here. I ain't the only one who don't take kindly to careless strangers. You just watch...
What are we doing wasting time here? Let's get a move.
Hello.
Howdy.
Hello.
Howdy, folks. Welcome to our fair city. We'd be right pleased to have you take advantage of our various businesses and services.
Oh, really?
We have a general store well stocked in many of the provisions that you will undoubtedly need in your travels. And you may well find other helpful enterprises as you tour our streets. Take your time, spend a few days with us. We'll be more than glad to help you in any way that we can. You do have cash money, don't you?
I literally have pennies.
Hello.
Hello.
How you doing?
Howdy.
Pardon me, folks.
Oh my God.
I was wondering...
How many times are you gonna
Say,
ask us?
you're one of them folks from that wagon train there, ain't you? Where are all you people coming from? I'm trying to get word of my cousin who's supposed to be out on the trail. He came out of Kentucky and was traveling with 2 young'uns. His name's Brown, Elisha Brown. I'd like to tell him about a sadness in his family that happened just a week after he left.
Oh, sad.
Send what mail you can to your family as you travel. Forts are a good place for it. Ain't much else we can do except keep asking if someone's seen our people along the way.
Damn.
Buenos dias.
Buenos dias.
Buenos dias.
Oh, hold on.
Morning.
Howdy.
Oh God, I don't want to see you.
Glory be, more immigrants. There seems to be more you folks heading west every day.
That's right.
Forgive my suspicions, but you don't have any ruffians among...
Talk to you.
Howdy.
Howdy.
Hello.
Let's onwards. I have no guns, no wagon wheels. Oh, I'm screwed. It's too late now.
Let's move on.
Howdy. You know, this is my second time out on the trail.
Really?
Yeah, we started out last year, but didn't get too far. We tried going across the Kansas River when the water was way too high. The wagon overturned in the middle of the river, and we lost everything we had. But we're not giving up.
Jeez.
We're trying again. Well, needless to say, I sure ain't gonna try and cross no rivers when they're too rough and high.
Smart.
You know, one of my brothers went overland to Oregon last year.
Oh.
He wrote and said that he spent all his money in Independence. He had no money left for buying supplies along the way, for paying ferries and tolls, or for hiring Indian guides.
Oh, man.
I'd try to be sure always to have a little money handy. You can get by in a tight fix with money a lot easier than you can without it.
Yeah, I spent way too much money. Conditions 3 feet. Okay. 3 feet. No choice. Let's go. It's just you here? You poor person.
I sure would like to stop here for a bit. I could use some fresh supplies.
Don't waste your time on these penny ante stations and trading posts. They got next to nothing, and what they do got, they try to cheat you over.
Guess we can't stay for a day. Oh, just kidding. Conditions 2.5 feet. Okay, rather difficult. Why? Let's just forward it. Damn it! One blanket. It was 2.25 feet high.
I think we ought to keep going.
Time is a wasting. Let's.
So nice though, but wouldn't rest for a day. Ooh. 1 jar of licorice, 1 thermometer, 9 pounds of salt pork. Let's just...
We're nearly choking on this dust. Why don't we stop and let those other wagons get far enough ahead so that we don't travel in their clouds of dust?
Nothing you can do about the dust. It was here long before we came along, and it'll still be here long after we're gone.
Yeah, that's what I hear too. Let's just continue as usual.
Time is a wasting.
Why are you...
Let's keep going.
Remember me, friend? Or haven't we met already?
Oh my gosh.
Name's Nick Tillman. That big Conestoga wagon over there is mine.
Okay.
They told me back east that such a big wagon would never get across the plains and mountains, but I ain't had any trouble. Just a dead ox. But I got another one a ways back. Well, I don't see why we're pushing ourselves so hard. They keep saying we gotta finish our journey before winter comes, as if a little snow's gonna hurt.
Sleepy time. What do you mean?
There's too many wagons trying to cross the river.
I never realized there'd be such a crowd of wagons.
How many days does it take? That wasn't bad. Oregon Trail. St. Joseph Road. Hold on. Let's check my guide. St. Joseph Road. The trail from St. Joseph, Missouri comes in from the right. The road continues westward on the trail. Rough trail, the next trail follows the road trail. Okay. So, what do I do? Oregon Trail. Oh wait.
I'm having second thoughts about this venture. I would seriously consider heading back to Missouri.
I don't know which way we should go. I figured you would.
According to our guidebook, this is the St. Joseph Road Junction. One fork goes west, while the other goes back east.
Oh.
Well, I don't know about you, but I'm heading west. That's what we're here for.
That's what I thought. We're getting some good distance. Oh, pretty good fight. Good too.
I think it's time we be moving on.
I reckon this must be what they call the Narrows. Least it looks pretty narrow to me. Well, the trail gets so narrow here that the wagons have to go single file. On one side there's a steep cliff, and on the other side a river. Not much room to spare. I'd suggest we take it slow and easy through here. The trail looks mighty rough.
We ought to consider the terrain. If there's anything dangerous up ahead, like narrow canyon trails, we should stop until this fog clears up.
Okay, so we're in the Narrows.
This fog is as thick as my grandmother's bean soup. We oughtn't keep traveling in weather like this.
Can't hardly see where we're going.
Okay. Shite. For 50. How about 2? No. No. Oh, thank you, yes.
It's raining and thundering something terrible. I don't think we should do any more traveling today.
It's rainy, it's thundering. We'll be walking in the rain. I have one umbrella. Yeah, let's just wait for the conditions to improve. Ooh.
I say we continue on our way.
Time is a wasting.
Time
Let's
is
get out.
wasting. Let's head out. Fine. Ooh, Fort Kennedy.
Wait a minute. Just let me finish writing this in my diary. There. You know, I don't know what we'd do if it weren't for these forts along the way. It sure is a comfort to me knowing that, even way out here in the wilderness, every now and then there's a place where we can relax a spell. I vote we stay here a couple days and rest up. It won't do any of us no good if we exhaust ourselves.
Howdy, neighbor. We made a mistake in calculating the flour we'd need. Finding we were deficient, we had to buy a quantity of flour here. Paid a dear price for it, too. A promoter back home said we could reach our destination in 60 days easy, so we outfitted for that span of time. But we're awful low on supplies and we've got a ways to go yet. My advice? Don't take no advice. It's advice that got us here, and nobody's advice is gonna get us out.
Howdy do, neighbor.
Yeah.
Are you in need of my services?
At every fort or trading post along the trail, prices have been higher than at the previous place. This is outrageous. They're taking advantage of us. If I had the chance to do it all over again, I'd buy more supplies at the beginning of our journey. Well, we might as well get what we need right here. Goodness knows it'll probably be even more expensive further down the road.
For me, I got a shite ton. Let's see. 64. I have 64 cents, so not even worth it.
Hey, what say you we have ourselves a wingding tonight? It's been a good long time since we've had a regular fandango.
What is a wingding and what is a fandango? I'm in.
You know what they say, all work and no play makes Jack a dull boy. And we sure have been working hard out on the trail, haven't we? We should take it easy more, enjoy ourselves. I'm gonna go and see some of the others and see if they don't feel the same way.
This might be a good place to rest a while.
What do you mean?
Just what I said. We've done enough traveling for the time being. It won't hurt to stop for a day or two. Yeah, listen to what I'm saying. Let's stop here to rest.
That was great. No.
This might be a good place.
Sure, we'll rest for a day. You know what?
This storm is so fierce.
Yeah. Shit.
You know, when I think of all the things I've seen on this journey, nothing has impressed me more than the violent thunderstorms on the plains. From the bullwhip crack of the lightning dazzling my eyes, to the cannon-like boom of thunder, the heavens issued forth such a volume of water, we were all soaked through in the first few seconds, and the hail sometimes. I take time each day to add a few words to my journal. I recommend you do the same. It lifts the spirits to record our progress, and it may prove valuable to friends and family that follow. Even generations to come may find it of some interest.
That's right in my diary. I got bit by a damn snake and had to get the venom sucked out of an open wound. Damn it. Oops. Oh. There goes my... There I go. They try to tell me to use the diary, and look what happens. San Jr. My son. Let's just rest for a couple days. If he dies. Okay, good. My son dies.
I think we ought to go up to them and say howdy. They may be in need of help, or they may be able to help us.
We're looking for a group of thieves who stole some of our animals last night. You seen any suspicious characters round about today? We don't cotton to thieves. If we catch 'em, we'll see to it that they never steal again. Keep a sharp lookout. We'll be on our way now.
Hey, 29 pounds of bacon, cinnamon, coffee beans, compass. Oh, that was them. The thieves are the ones that just... Aw. That's bullcrap.
I always take some time every few hours to look over the sky carefully. My grandma taught me all the signs for predicting the weather. Well, I imagine you'd know by now how much the weather has to do with our well-being. It's important that we try to stay one step ahead of it and make our plans accordingly. Always keep aware of the weather. What it was yesterday, what it is today, and what it's likely to be tomorrow. I keep a record of it in my diary. Nothing will have a greater effect on the success of our journey than the weather.
Okay. We will continue. Ooh, hell yeah. Prairie fire.
Goodness! I've never seen anything like it. Do you think we're safe here?
Let's try to find some way around the...
Goodness!
I don't know what to do. Let's just go. Get out of that fire. 2 feet. Okay, it's 2 feet.
We should wait a while before...
Conditions aren't likely to improve anytime soon.
damn, that's a big ass. Okay, hold on. Let's just wait for a day. Let's wait for 2 more days. 1.5 feet. Okay. Okay, that's good. Let's go. Double team. Let's see. Hills conditions. Doesn't look very steep. It doesn't look very steep, so let's double team. In this hill, okay. Doesn't look very steep. Lock the wheels. I kind of want to, let's see.
This appears to me to be a right dangerous place. But there is an element of danger to this entire enterprise, isn't there?
Yes.
My children all wanted to go to Oregon, and I didn't want to hold them back. So I'm going with them, even if I am a bit past my prime.
Okay.
I hear tell that this here hill has cost many an immigrant their lives. I suggest we put the brakes on our wagons, maybe even use a log or something as an anchor.
Phew.
Time is a wasting. Let's get out.
I think it's time we be.
Let's move on.
Yeah, well, you all say move on. I say it's time to sleep for a day. It's June 15. Let's see. June 15. My birthday was 6 days ago. Oh. I should stop. Bit-a-bee. One fiddle. One spare wagon tongue. Oh, that's amazing. Wish I found a gun.
Let's keep going.
Fine scenery round these parts.
Hey? That's
I think we ought to keep...
Just rest for a day. How cool would that be to see? Chimney Rock.
Chimney Rock by moonlight is awfully sublime. Last night, some Indians came to our wagon with fish to exchange for clothing. We bought a number. They make for a good change of diet.
Yeah.
The Indians understand swap and no swap. They seem most anxious to get shirts and socks.
So we'll rest for a day. Maybe an Indian will come say hi. No? Maybe I should have done 2 days.
I say we continue on our way.
Let's keep.
Meet you. Robidoux Pass.
Let's stop here a while. I'd like to see what they have here.
Okay, well, there's nothing.
Ain't got no need to stop here.
613 miles. Let's see, what does the Robidoux Pass have to say? Robidoux Pass. Robidoux Pass. Trading post. Some supplies. Rough trail continues. Okay. Laramie River. What does the Laramie River say? Crossing the river about 300 feet wide and between 3 and 4 feet deep. Ferry service should go. $4. Oh gosh. 3 feet. Do it. Yes. Let's visit the fort.
You folks looking to do some trading? Trading is one of the main things people do out here at forts.
Yeah.
Why, it's pert near a form of entertainment for some souls.
Okay.
Keep a sharp eye out on your supplies and your money. There's some unscrupulous types around here that wouldn't mind relieving you of some of your possessions.
Sounds like you.
It always pleases me to see more people moving out west. This'll be a great and grand country someday, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Why expanding the horizons of civilization out here in the wilderness? Just thrills me to the bone to think on it.
This might be a good place to rest a while. Just what I said. We've done. Yeah, listen to what I'm saying.
Welcome, folks. Pleased to meet you. Sorry we can't boast much in the way of accommodations. The few quarters here ain't a heap much bigger than a monk's cell. We'd be mighty appreciative of a bit of entertainment in the evening. Most travelers come around to share a bit of news, and there's always somebody who can tell a good tale. You could try that bit of level ground just over yonder for camping.
Okay, well, let's rest for a couple days. Why not? Green Trail, let's go. Register cliff. What is Register cliff? Cliff to the left of the trail, frequent site of immigrant carvings.
Time is a waste.
I think it's time.
Yes. Independence Day. Thick dust. Can't do much about dust, I'm telling you. Where's Natural Bridge? Natural formation to the left of the trail.
I think we ought to keep.
Ah, more wagon people. Are you here to slaughter more buffalo like the group that passed by 4 days ago?
Oh no.
I'd never seen such waste. They killed 10 times what they needed for food and left most of the carcasses to rot. Luckily, after the coyotes had finished with them, we gathered the bones to make tools. If you must kill for food, good, but don't kill any more than that. The well-being of our people depends on the buffalo.
Yeah, that's sad. Dang it. Bastard. That's the second time I got stuff stolen. How dare they? Please don't be high. 3 feet. Oh god.
Conditions aren't likely to.
What do you mean?
Well, after this here crossing, it's goodbye Platte River. Goodbye Sandhills and Buffalo Skulls.
What do you mean?
According to my guidebook, now we've climbed the Sweetwater Valley to cross the Continental Divide at South Pass. Once across the Rockies, we'll make a steep descent into the Green River Valley. The land gets drier the further west we go, but as long as we stay close to the rivers, we ain't got too much to worry about, at least not regarding water.
Float. Yes, made it. This is Shenandoah. Oh. This is Shenandoah. It's an old song. Oh, Shenandoah, I long to see. That's cool.
I am a Nunaina, whom you call the Arapaho. My name is Whitehawk. I'm waiting here for my son, who is trading nearby. Long before we ever saw wagon people like you, a rare white hawk perched on a rock near my father's teepee. I took it as a sign for my new name, and ever since has it been changed. The men here are fair traders, not like many others my son and I have met. Perhaps when my son returns, we can trade with you too.
I don't want no dress. Fish. Ooh, no. Fish. So it's like one fish.
We can hardly sleep at night with all these mosquitoes buzzing.
Well, we can't sleep if there's mosquitoes, can we?
I say we continue on.
Let's keep.
I'm hungry, so I'm gonna eat some soup. Chicken soup. I made chicken soup. I made chicken soup.
Howdy, we're having to lighten the load on our wagon.
Oh, really?
I've carried my mother's framed mirror all the way from home. It's with great effort that I cast off this last gentle reminder of the dear friends and family I've left behind. But our success in reaching the end of the trail is of greater import. None save to do whatever you can to make the work on your animals a little easier. Lighten your load, rest 'em often, take good care of 'em. If you lose your animals, you're in danger of losing your life.
Alright, my weight is pretty good. I still have 200 pounds of bacon. Alright, I have, what's my food? What's my food looking like? 200 pounds of bacon. Crackers, so I got 100 pounds of crackers, 30 pounds of beans. My vegetables are pretty low. Wow. Okay. So I'm getting pretty low on food. Okay. That's scary to think about. Okay. Well, can I stop looking at my stuff now? Okay. No. Okay. Let's go. Let's go. Don't know what the hell that was about. So if I have a little under 250 pounds of food, let's see, and it takes about 6 months. What month is it? It's July, so I started in April, May, June, July, 4 months. So I got about 2 months left to go. Can I make it off? I mean, I should be okay. I got lots of other food.
I say we continue on our...
Let's move on.
Okay, no more resting for me.
Let's keep...
Time is away. Time is away.
Keep back. You ain't a-passing us. We got no wish to be eating your dust.
Jesus.
I ain't gonna tell you nothing. I maintain a suspicion of folks that's too inquisitive. Just keep back there where you are. You try to get past us and there'll be trouble.
Three crossings. Deep sand, 3 crossings. Let's see. Quicksand possible. Okay, so it's rainy right now. So I guess I have to cross the river 3 times. Double team. Nice. Ice Spring Slough. South Pass. South Pass or Deep Sand.
Well, have you ever seen anything like this before in your life? Why, they said that if you dig a shallow hole round here, you'll strike freshwater ice. And here it is, just like they said it'd be. Imagine that. Cool ice, out here in the middle of this barren wasteland.
Okay.
Get a bucket and get some ice for yourself. I can't wait to get back to my wagon, show this to the others, and write about it in my diary.
Maybe we better consult our guidebook before deciding which road to take.
That's what I did.
Well, have you ever...
Okay, one more time. South Pass. Okay, fairly stable. Sweet.
Time is a waste.
Let's stop here a while.
I said we should rest for a day.
Good day to you. My name's Helen Whitney. My family and I are from Atlanta, Georgia. We're going to California.
Oh, really?
We had
Tell me
a
more.
profound religious experience last year and came to the realization that slavery is a terrible evil. We freed our servants and decided to move west, where there is no involuntary servitude. My guidebook says that here at Pacific Springs is the last good water we'll find for the next 10 miles or so. We're entering alkali country, and game will be getting scarce too.
Oh, shite. Five sets of clothing? No. For 27 pounds of ham. Okay.
Fine scenery round these parts. Let's move on. Let's move on.
Parting of the ways. There's a split in the trail at a fork in the road. The right branch follows a subtle cutoff, providing a shortcut to Fort Hall. The sublet cutoff, however, is rougher and drier than the main trail. The left branch follows the main trail, which leads to Fort Bridger. The left branch. The subtle cutoff. Okay, rougher and drier. Well, let's just go to the... We'll just... Shite. Okay. Well, there goes my fiddle.
We're gonna have to stop and rest a bit. It's hotter than a Roman candle at a 4th of July parade.
97 degrees. Okay, fine. Uh-oh. I'll do it.
Why, I sure could go for some fresh fruit right now.
Yes.
I say we continue on.
Fine scenery round.
Aim rock.
I think we ought to.
Let's move.
Okay. August.
I declare, I'm sure glad we made it to this here fort. It ain't exactly civilization, but it's the best we seen in a good long time. I'm gonna see what kind of supplies they have over here in this store or trading post. I hear some of these frontier forts have plenty of provisions, while others ain't got much more than salt pork and rancid flour. If I was you, I'd check my supplies and see if there's anything I need before even thinking about moving on.
Yeah, well... Unfortunately for me... Okay, Fort Bridger. For a trading port located at the large bend of the river called Black Fork. Some two flies split the trail, with the Oregon Trail branching off to the right. Heading north, the road that goes forward southeast is Soto City. Road to... Okay, Salt Lake. Okay. Okay. Salt Lake. Great Salt Lake City. Oh, okay. So.
Howdy, we're having to lighten the load on our wagon.
Oh, really?
I've carried my mother's framed mirror all the way from home.
I've talked to you before.
I think we ought.
I talked to that lady before, I swear. Animals? Those aren't oxes. I bought oxes. Okay.
Maybe if we wait here, another wagon train with...
If we all pitch in, we can clear a path through these rocks in just a few...
Yeah, well, we tried. Oh god. Oh god. What's my food like? Crap. Oh god. Place I fill supplies. Okay, how much food do I have? I'm low on food. I have 5 pounds of ham left. Oh, mommy. So 35 pounds of crackers. 10 pounds of beans. We have to do meager. Okay. Let's see who's around.
You know, when I think of all the things I've seen on this journey, nothing has impressed me more than the violent thunderstorm from the bullwhip crack of the...
Okay. Give me food. Eat. 3 dozen candles? Okay, you got it.
We met a man yesterday who said he'd already been to California. His report bore a good account of the country and the quality of the land to be had. That was a relief to hear. Thunderation. I've been working for other folks all my life. In the new land, I'm going to have my own land and herd. Yes, sir, I can hear them cattle calling my name.
Okay. Guitar. Okay, fine. Okay, so sublet cutoff. Sublet cutoff. Sublet cutoff. How close am I? I'm not close at all. Am I gonna make it? Jesus. I'm screwed. West end of the road to Fort Hall.
Looks like a good place to lay by for a day or so before we cross. There be water for laundering, and I figure the river'll track some game upstream come evening. The people and animals alike need a bit of rest. If we do right by the animals now, we'll reach the end of our journey all the sooner. I say we recruit the animals for a day and do some hunting come evening. Most folks is ready for a rest.
Don't waste your time on these penny ante stations and...
Let's stop here a while.
This may be our last chance.
We're so screwed. No fruit, no vegetables.
I think it's time we be.
Time is away.
Hudspeth cut off. Hudspeth cut off. Sheeprock is a prominent natural formation to the left of the trail. This is where the Hudspeth cutoff splits off to the left from the main trail, which turns to north at this point. Okay. Timber, rough trail, no vegetables. 3 feet, 38 reach.
Looks fairly deep to me.
Yeah, I think so.
I don't like the looks of the river.
What do you mean? Looks ordinary. Scheisse. No. We have bacon and ham. Okay. To trade. Jesus.
The river don't look so bad. I gotta be on.
Biscuit. 5-pound tins of biscuits. How about 80? Okay, fine. How about 10? 20.
The river don't. I gotta be on. The river don't look. I gotta be on.
Biscuits and cornmeal. Okay.
The river don't look so bad. I gotta be on.
Tried saxophone.
The river don't look. I gotta be on.
Dried beans. Okay. That's good, right? west end of Hudspeth. Well, let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Fairly steep. Double up to. Oh god. We gotta go. Fairly steep. Lock the wheels. Okay, yes. Morale is slipping. Yes, I know. Thick dust. No meat, no vegetables. Oh, shite.
The sound of splash gives me a chance.
Food.
The sound of splash gives me a chance to wash off. The sound of splashing gives me a... The sound of splash gives me a...
I have one set of clothing. Shite. So I got flour, potatoes, and vegetables. Okay.
I'm taking a bit. The water's on.
Let's go. We can do filling. Ready to go. October.
You Americans, I know some of your language. We're Paiute. Do you want to trade? We have grasshoppers. They're good to eat. There aren't many large animals around here. You won't find much to hunt.
£1 of fish. How freaking much farther do I have to go? I thought I started in... Damn it. No meat. Yes, I know I have meat. Okay. I have 4 pennies. Why can't I sell anything? Can't let me sell stuff?
Good day to you. If you don't, we set out on the trail a while back.
How about some rice?
Good day to you. We set out on the...
I'm so close to dying. I don't want to die. Let's go. This is my food situation. Okay, so I have 200 pounds of potatoes, 20 pounds of vegetables, 20 pounds of rice. Going vegetarian, boys. Going vegetarian. Applegate.
I recommend that we take some time to put up some hay for the animals. They won't have any water to drink in the desert ahead, and hay can help them survive.
Oh, snipe. Applegate. Shite. What's wrong with Black Rock Desert? What is this Black Rock Desert? Black Rock Desert. Black Rock Desert. Didn't see it.
Howdy. My pa says we're getting ready to go through a desert. I'm scared. I've heard stories about people dying of thirst in deserts. I wish we wasn't going. Maybe you can talk to the other grown-ups. Get on it.
It's fine. Let's go. Sir. Let's go. Can we eat him?
An injured draft animal is no good to nobody. Shoot it.
I'm sorry, cow. Too bad I have no gun. Let's go. Let's go, let's go, let's go.
I always take some time every few hours to look over the sky carefully.
My food situation. Oh, I got so many potatoes. I'm okay. Muddy and fairly steep. Anchor the wagon.
I'm going to St. Louis. The game just...
One pair of boots? Got it.
I'm going to say the game.
Want to do that again? else. It could be. You know what? I'll take that. Try to port.
There must be another way.
It's awful risky trying to travel a flooded road. If I were you.
Let's go. I see it. I'm almost there. Go. Lower Klamath Lake. Yes. Oregon. Scurvy.
If people would eat more fruits and vegetables, they wouldn't get scurvy.
Oh my god. Scheiße. Don't. No. Don't you die on me now. Icy. Oh god. No! Are you kidding me? I'll take it for one. Come on, do it for one. One for one. Shit. Hold on. Whoa. No. Damn it. I was so close. I was so close. Okay, well, that's fine. I'm done. Love you, bye.